George, is that I see a lot of pull against a lot of challenges when it comes to education. My name is Ahmed Elnaggar.
This is Monday League.
You were also a member of Swiss Business Council, just a regular member, and then you take up the ladder into becoming a president. How does that work for you? It's an amazing thing.
I see it a bit like this. When I came here to the Emirates almost 8 years ago, when you come from abroad, so what is your first point of contact, right? As a Swiss, of course, I go to the Swiss Business Council. Yeah. We don't have a club Swiss, so not like a social, basically, gathering, but the Business Council, So I got engaged with the Business Council, then, of course, with our common employer at the time, who was also very much engaged already in the board, right?
Yeah.
You kind of become part of the team, right? And I see it a bit like giving something back, because it's the same with Emirates legal network. You become part. You have benefits, you participate, you have you have benefits, and you want to give something back.
Yeah.
It's more about this. And then I would always say it's about to be at the right time, at the right place, with the right people around. It's the same for you, for the legal network. It's like you had a good group of people who said, let's just start it, And the Business Council is the same, because my predecessor was 22 years president, right? So rather big shoes to fill. But nonetheless, it's like laws change. Also, let's say the regulatory framework for non-profits, like a Business Council, has changed, because you know how it is. Non-profits are per se a red flag, right? Yeah. So now you see like new laws, new rules have been implemented by Dubai Chamber. You have limited terms only, so you cannot be 20 years in the board anymore.
Yeah.
And of course, after 22 years, he built the council, Peter, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, now it's time to hand over, because the law changes. I'm maybe not up to date anymore. I don't have the time. Let's give younger people the chance to step up, And then again, it's about having the right people around you, because again, you don't get paid to do the job in the legal network association, right? So you put a lot of hours in, voluntary hours, but you only do that if you think this is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
It's not about money. It's not about thing, but you say okay, this is my little baby because I'm part of the founders.
Yeah.
And I want to bring this to the next step, right? And you know how it is. Dubai is it's a competition, right? So if you do an event, anyone coming to that event could be at 5 other events at the same time, So it's about what do you bring to the table, which other associations, other groups cannot bring to the table, right? And what you bring with the legal network is basically you bring a platform for lawyers, It's not about the accountant. It's not about whatever. It's about the lawyers. Yeah. It's basically a professional association.
Yes.
But it's a private association, which makes it nice. Swiss Business Council is the same. We are basically the Swiss chamber here in the Emirates, but we don't get money from the government, right? So it's we live from our... Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe you have a sponsorship, membership fees, right? Yeah. But in order to attract members, you need to provide something interesting for the members, right? And it's always evaluating where do you want to go, what you want to do, right? And for the Swiss Business Council, it's the same. It's for example, this year, for the first time ever, we did the first Swiss Emirati Economic Forum in Bern, right? So the Swiss Business Council, together with the UAE Ministry of Economy and the UAE Embassy in Bern, we had the first economic forum. So from UAE side, it was His Excellency Dr. Sayyoudi who was on stage. And from the Swiss side, it was the State Secretary of Economy on stage, right? And we, as the Business Council, had our logo there, right?
Wow.
And this is, again, it's we bring this for our members. It's a platform. Because the legal network is the same. It's a platform. You bring people together. If it's a business council, professional, association, and I think in the end you live with the members. Of course, the board, you have the flag and you go and give a good example, but in the end you only are, as an association, what the members bring to the table. And you see, you have this podcast. We have the WhatsApp group for exchanges and questions.
Yeah.
We have different basically platforms and ways how we can interact. You have events where we have gatherings together, if it's an iftar or whatever, But again, why do the members come to iftar? Because we have so many iftars, you know how it is.
Yes.
And I always say, like, the quality in the end is about like what you bring to the table,
Yeah.
And I think here we're exactly the same. It's like we put like basically our efforts in. There's no monetary reward, but it's kind of our baby.
Yeah.
Right.
It's something that builds up. And honestly, I will tell you one thing that I found it very valuable, that I'm personally benefiting from it. Maybe not money, but or fees or clients or whatever. It's just my network is becoming really solid.
Exactly.
I can anytime call a lawyer whenever I need something. And I will find the right information, the right contact. If I need a lawyer in the Bahamas who is specialized in family law. At 6 p.m. on Saturday, I will find it because of my network.
And you know how it is.
Amazing.
Network is like you go to an event, you exchange a business card. Tomorrow, the week after, you don't care. But maybe in 3 months, like, hey, remember, there I met the guy, right? And in the end, you need to meet 10, 15 people to find the one right person. But if you don't
even 100 sometimes,
you know where I'm coming
I guess
from.
Yeah. Very interesting. One thing I wanted to ask you, the Swiss community in the UAE is quite big. And it is remarkable. Every now and then you realize that the founder of one of the UAE-based companies or the managing partner of one of the even international companies, a Swiss person, and there's a lot of Swiss people living here in the UAE. What kind of, or what's the most common legal work that you do for Swiss people, since you are pretty much involved with the community?
I would say, as a lawyer, of course, it's like, I know both. I have a knowledge, let's call it. I don't say I know everything, but I have a knowledge of the Swiss law and the UAE.
Yeah.
So, of course, you might have a multinational working out of Switzerland who needs support here. And of course, their legal department is happy if they have a counterpart here who knows both ways, right? Or then, of course, you go into family law, you have a divorce case, right? Of course, it's a local attorney, local lawyer who takes care in court, but nonetheless, he needs guidance if they want to have, let's say, a divorce convention agreement under Swiss law, because they're both Swiss, right? So it's kind of like, we all have our niche here, right? You come with the Egyptian backpack, I come with the Swiss backpack.
Yeah.
And then, like, when it's an individual, it's maybe a bit more family law, it's inheritance, maybe marriage, it's about rather these things. And we have the big multinationals who have cross-border implication, who are happy if they have someone who knows a bit where they're coming from and knows the place here, right? So I would say that the Swiss community as such is like, it's a variety, right? It's the whole society. You have the big multinationals, you have an SME, maybe who intends to come here, right? Or you have the individuals, the family, the parents who need some legal advice. Or if it's about pension, because you still want to have pension funds in Switzerland, what you do, how you can cash them when you live abroad. So they like kind of like, first of all, if someone speaks the same language.
Yes.
You know how that works, right?
Yes.
And it's like when you say A, they understand A and you do A, right? Because you have a certain understanding, right?
Yeah. Oh, they come on time.
The Swiss, the Swiss.
Yes.
No, and it's like, I would say this is a bit the thing. And when you look at now, I just had a chat with our ambassador a few days ago. Currently, it's like almost every day, a Swiss person is moving from Switzerland to the UAE, right?